Thank you, Paul. I'm also a board member of several of the agencies here. I see our Executive Director, Jerry Madsen. A couple of days ago, I called Megan, and I said, Megan, what's your plan B if it's 110 out here? And she said, oh my God. And so I guess this is your plan B, Megan, this wonderful weather. If it had rained, you could thank me. But again, my name is Linda Lezotte. I'm in my 7th year in the Santa Clara Valley Water District. Let me tell you just very briefly about the Water District. John mentioned a little bit about the importance of groundwater to us, but we actually have 3 missions. The first is water supply, second is flood protection, and the third is environmental stewardship. And the convergence of that mission is right here. And it's very important to us what happens in Coyote Valley. And so I want to talk a little bit about how we're working jointly with OSA on some of our projects. We've been partnering with the Open Space Authority for many years. We have a shared history of watershed protection to advance our mutual goals. In fact, in July of 2015, we signed an MOU with OSA to help provide some funding for them and to move forward with our shared visions. We have a mutual interest in protecting and enhancing natural resources, such as the habitat that Andrea spoke so eloquently about, but also improving the water quality here in Coyote Valley. We also share goals of acquiring and serving land for protection from flooding and reducing flood risk, as John spoke about. Protecting groundwater, as John also spoke about, and natural groundwater recharge capability is another important goal and mission of Coyote Valley and our work here with OSA. And also providing access to trails and open space. In January, OSA and the district board, the 2 boards, had a joint meeting to continue discussing our mutual care and how important Coyote Valley was to all of us. So I want to talk a little bit about our One Water plan, which is a long-term plan for integrated water resources management on a watershed scale. And that's really important because we used to just do things by creeks. Now we're doing it on a watershed scale. And as John mentioned, Coyote Valley is one of 6 identified sub-watersheds in the Coyote watershed alone. And so it's a key area of focus for our One Water efforts, including, I should have memorized this sentence, coordination with the OSA. Many of the resources that we're discussing today are highlighted by the One Water framework in the form of measurable objectives, and that's going to be really, really important. So stay tuned. The framework is scheduled to be completed in December, and then the Coyote Watershed Plan will be out in the spring and summer of 2018. I just want to very briefly touch on the linkages report, which Andrea spoke about recently. Our district has been working with the authority staff to provide data that is critically needed, and that's part of the MOU, what we're providing for OSA with regard to some of the information that they need for Coyote Valley, and also to review the materials that they produce. The final report is expected in October. Again, stay tuned. One thing I wanted to talk about next is something called the Climate and Agricultural Preservation Program, CAP, and I think Supervisor Yeager later on today is going to talk a little bit about that. And this is an effort spearheaded by the county and the authority to identify key agricultural lands for preservation for agricultural uses as well as climate change mitigation and adaptation. And many of you know that the Water District, first of all, I want to say that, we're the Water District. You don't get your bills from us. I usually say that at if you have problems with anything having to do with San Jose, that's San Jose Water Company. So, but anyway, one of the things that we do is we are the wholesaler, and we also provide water for ag uses. And what we have been doing at the Water District is substantially, greatly, obscenely reducing the cost of water to agricultural users. And part of the reason that we're doing that is to encourage the continued production of agricultural products, and also to keep it out of the hands of developers and to preserve open space. So that's of great importance to the Water District. And finally, I wanted to talk about probably the most important thing with regard to Coyote Valley and our partnership with OSA, and that's the Open Space Authority's Coyote Valley investment strategy. And let me tell you a little bit about the investment strategy. It's an approach to identify water resource benefits and opportunities across Coyote Valley, including water quality protection and improvement, potential flood risk reduction, stormwater capture, and restoration and enhancement, and that's very, very important as well. The district is coordinating with the authority using a phase approach. We're currently in phase 2, which includes refining our analysis of surface and groundwater modeling, and that's really important when you're trying to figure out what, if any, development or programs can be done out here. You really need to know what the surface and the groundwater is. And so part of that is they do hydrologic and hydraulic analysis and modeling, where we refine the terrain, because in a lot of areas at one point it had been built up for development, and so we have to, and the terrain's been put back, or it's remained in a condition that it wasn't natural. So part of the modeling is to make sure that we accurately portray what the landscape actually is, so that we can then depict how the flows will more move across the valley and into the streets or whatever during flood events, and that's really, really important. After the modeling and analysis is done, we'll then do some future scenarios that'll be developed to exhibit how multi-objective projects such as restoration and enhancement or stormwater capture might take place here. So we would help to plan them, design them, and construct them. Well, we wouldn't construct them, but we would help doing that for the valley, which is very, very important. And so these efforts lead us to some strategies that we can look at for Coyote Valley. We work collaboratively with the authority and the district, and hopefully with the city and the county, to define opportunities and constraints of the valley for development. And then going forward, we're going to continue to have our staff meet with OSA staff. We're going to continue to have board meetings, joint board meetings, which I hope that the city of San Jose and the county will join us in. And I'm glad my hero Sergio, my friend, talked about his leadership to preserve Coyote Valley, that he's going to take at the city of San Jose. Whatever help you need, just give me a call. You know, you can count on me. And I'm sure a lot of the other members of the board. But I know how difficult it is working with the council, having done it for 7-8 years. But we're also going to be helping to design some charrettes on Coyote Valley opportunities. In fact, we're working on a case study development on an aspect of case study development is one aspect of our One Water plan. So again, we're going to continue to have meetings. I think it's really important. One of the things that the district has come to realize is that we, in the past, not with this current board, thank goodness, we really believe in getting together with our partners and meeting face to face. In the past, it's always been staff getting together, but it's very important for the people who can, push through funding, push through legislation, move people. It's very important for the electeds to get together, or for the board members to get together, and we want to continue to do that with all of the environmental groups, with our partners at the city, with our partners at the county, and again, this is a tremendous turnout. I want to thank all my colleagues for being here. I'm sure I speak for them, except when I'm being a smart aleck. But anyway, turn it back to Paul.